Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Pet Show. Does your pug seem a little too pushy? Is your rescued feline a bit fearful? Is your chihuahua acting like Cujo? You know what I'm talking about. Well, if you love your dogs and adore your cats and really, really want to understand them almost as well as they understand you, if you want to get inside your dog or cat's head and try to figure out why they behave the way they do, you know what to do, right? Stay tuned because once again, right here, right now, it is time for the Pet Show. That's right, America and Canada's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, and of course, pet lifestyle show. So hop up on my couch, bring those furry little buddies with you, folks. It is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hello, everybody. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never even a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I stress every week, respect pets as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Evergreen Pet Show family, if you have a question about your dog or cat's behavior, just want to understand why they behave in a certain way and why they do certain things, or maybe they're driving you absolutely crazy, they're jumping, they're humping, you get the idea, right? If you have a question about your dog or your cat's behavior, just want to brag a little bit about your dog or cat, want to tell me an amazing story about how your rescued dog or cat maybe saved your life or made life so much better for you, a couple of things you can do. You can always give me a call. Now, you know we record the show now, so leave a message on the phone, as many people did. You can call this number 24/7. That's right, 24/7, and leave a message or your question or your comment. Be nice. The phone number, 877-725-8255. That's 877-725-8255. And I got quite a bit of phone calls this week, so we'll play a few of those a little bit later, and I'll try to resolve to some of their questions as well. So, if you have a dog or a cat and they're jumping or they're humping or they're digging or they're scratching, they're not getting along with each other, if you have questions about your pet, it's always great to give me a call. You can always send me an email as well. Here's what you do. Go to my website, thepetshow.com. I got a ton of them this week. As you can see, literally a ton of them this week. So, if you'd like to send me an email with a question or a comment or I hate you or I love you, just go to thepetshow.com. That's all one word, the included, thepetshow.com. When you go there, you'll see my face. My hair might be a little bit darker in that shot, but just click on Ask Warren and you'll get an application. You could just fill out whatever question you may want me to answer. Keep it clean, folks. Whatever question, keep it about your dogs and cats. Whatever question you want me to answer, just go to thepetshow.com, click on Ask Warren, and it'll be there. So we got some great emails coming in this week, some great phone calls coming this week, but I also got a lot of topics I want to get to this week. For example, I've watched other trainers and I watched behaviorists and I watched people that live with their dogs. I go to the dog park and people are constantly yelling at the dog. Stop it. Don't do that. You're making me nuts. So I decided to do a segment today, yelling at your dog. Now, yelling at your dog may seem like a pretty easy way to correct them. It rather appears almost innocent, doesn't it? No big deal. I yelled at my dog. But not so fast. Not so fast. Yelling at your dog happens to be a very bad thing. We'll tell you to yell or not to yell coming up a little bit later. I know it's hard sometimes, like just this morning I was out in the backyard with Molly and Willie and some dog walked by and Willie started barking and I let him bark for a little while and I said, okay, come on, knock it off. And Willie again, I said, knock it. And then I said to myself, no, Warren, you're doing a segment on yelling. You got to be realistic. So we're going to talk about yelling. How many people out there yell at their dogs? A lot of people do. And a lot of times we yell at our dogs for our own frustrations or things that we never taught them how to behave about. So yelling at your dog, real important topic coming up on today's show. Should you yell or should you not yell? Or is yelling making things worse for your dog? We'll talk about that. A lot of people do yell. Also coming up, you guys know me. We've been talking for many years on radio and TV I've answered thousands, literally thousands and thousands of cat questions and resolved many cat behavior issues and heard lots of thoughts from my listeners. So I thought today I would do some research to find the biggest single misconception about cats and their behavior. I'll explain what I found, and let me tell you, it was pretty eye-opening. So this is the most misconceived misconception that people have about cats, including their owners. We'll talk about that a little bit later on the show, but it was really eye-opening even for me. Also coming up on the show today, and if you have some issues with your dog's behavior or not alone, a new study's out, and I'm going to share it. It floored me, folks. It floored me. The study suggests, and I'll talk about it later, but 99, did you hear that number? 99% of dog owners believe that their dog has behavior issues. I might respond by saying 99% of dog owners have behavior issues. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. As always, plenty of time to answer all of your questions and comments. So if your dog is jumping or humping, your cat woke you up at 3 o'clock in the morning, peed on your favorite rug, your dog's chewing, barking, digging, suffers with separation anxiety or depression, your cat has litter box issues, your dog chewed up your cell phone, I'm here to help you cope with your pet's problems and more than likely help your pets cope with yours. Give me a call or shoot me an email. Again, that phone number, 24/7, 877-725-8255. That's one of the best ways to get me to answer your question, 877-725-8255, or just send me your question at thepetshow.com. So interesting week this week. I got a lot of phone calls coming in. I'm going to share a couple with you in a little while. But I got one phone call. It was from a man in Tennessee, and he wasn't calling about himself. I'm thinking, Phil, maybe I should let the people hear this call and then let me respond to it. So let them hear the call if you have it. And this is about a friend of his. So let's hear that call. And I forget the guy's name, but I want you to hear the call. And just so you know, I'll be responding as soon as I get off the air. So let's hear that call, Phil.
One, I just would like for you to take time out of your day sometime and call my Aunt June Chard. She was over feline rescue and no-kill animal shelter for years. She had spayed and neutered and had adopted out at PetSmart over 2,500 to 3,000 cats, and she had fixed over 5,000 cats in this time, and she also helped start No Bridge Home and Animal Shelter, which is a non-profit and a no-kill shelter in Buckville, Tennessee, and she also helped start a couple of other ones. She's getting the beginning stages of dementia, and she would, if you could just call and talk to her with a few words of encouragement, I would appreciate it very much. Thank you, Warren Eckstein. You are the best.
So you get a call like that, and some people just poo-poo it. I'm already in love with this woman. I mean, just the things that she's done. And I give credit not to talk. I give credit to action. So I have her number right here, and her name is June. And as soon as I get off the air today, I don't think it would be fair for me to call her on the air. You know, she is suffering maybe, or not suffering, but has the beginnings of dementia. So I'm going to call June as soon as we get off the air today, and I'm going to have a conversation with her and just let her know, and I hope you guys share my thoughts, let her know how incredibly thankful and respectful and happy and thrilled with the amazing work that she's been able to accomplish in her lifetime. So I'll report back next week about my conversation with June, but thank you for calling and letting me know about this incredible person, her incredible work, and the least, I mean, some people might say just that's a phone call, you don't have to. No, I got to call her. This is someone who's devoted her life to animals, as did I, as did many of you. She's going to get a phone call as soon as I get off the air today. Again, the phone number here, 24/7, if you want to leave a message like the gentleman. The phone number is 877-725-8255. Or if you prefer, you can always ask me a question. Go to my website, thepetshow.com. Big thing in the front. Ask Warren. Ask away. I'll answer as many questions as I possibly can. Some on the air, some off the air if I run out of time. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Busy show. You know, I was looking at some notes this week. So before I get to some great topics we're going to share with you, like I got this email. How many people out there? I get this all the time. Hey, Warren, my 10-year-old Russian Siberian cat has recently started pooping on our bed when we're not at home. We clean the litter box twice a day, thinking it was because we previously only did it once a day. We have a 5-year-old female who does not do this. We're at a loss as to why this and how to get him to stop. Help! Help! My cat's pooping on my bed. We'll get to that in just a second. Excuse me. Before we do that, you know, I'm an ex-New Yorker. I live in Arizona now, and for 25 years I lived in California. But New York, well, Long Island is my home. New York is trying to get a bill passed that would make pet food tax-free. What a great idea. So many people are suffering financially. Pet food has increased tremendously in terms of cost. Believe me, I know. Feeding your dog in New York could get a lot cheaper if Manhattan lawmakers get their way. A new bill filed in Albany would scrap sales tax on pet food across the state. A move backers say would offer steady, if modest, relief to households shelling out more to feed and treat their companion animals. It's fascinating that they're even thinking of doing this. I think it's a great idea, and if not permanently, at least temporarily, so many people are suffering. So, excuse me. I started this email with you, okay, about the cat pooping on the bed. Hopefully we'll have more time to answer, but let me go over a couple of things. Over the years, one of the most difficult jobs I've had was explaining to people that their cat pooping on their bed or even on their pillow is not necessarily a bad thing. Well, from the cat's perspective, it's not a bad thing. Cats will start pooping or peeing on the bed where the owner's strongest scent is. The owner's strongest scent is on the bed, usually around the feet or around the head area. So if you have a cat that automatically was using a litter box and he started pooping on the bed, and the first thing you did was change the litter box to twice a day, that may not be a good idea. I go back to once a day with this cat. Try to make sure you thoroughly clean up your bed with good odor neutralizers, enzymatic, made specifically for pets. Then what I would do is spend more time with the cat. The cat is probably leaving a mark for you to find your way home. You say he only did this when you're not at home, right? Poops on our bed when we're not at home. Generally, when a cat poops in an area or pees in an area where the strong scent of the owner is, what the cat is saying is I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling bad, I'm feeling or suffering with separation anxiety. So there's a couple of ways to stop it. One, by spending more time there. Number two, what I would do is after you've cleaned up, is I would take maybe 1 or 2 paper plates with some of the cat's treats in them, or some of his little bit of his food maybe, and just leave it on the bed when you leave the house. It's pretty rare that a dog or a cat is going to pee or poop where they go. So once you're sure that the cat is physically healthy, because whenever you have a change like that, you want to make sure that the cat is physically healthy. But pooping and peeing on the bed is a very, very common thing. And it's really tough to explain to someone who just lay down and put their head in urine or put their feet in poop that it's not a bad thing from the cat's point of view. They're letting you know. That's why it's so critical. Hopefully I'll get to do this later. But it's so critical that you notice how your cat, or your dog for that matter, but let's talk cats, how your cat is behaving during normal circumstances. And a lot of people won't say this. I videotape my dogs. I take pictures of my dogs. I want to know what they look like when things are okay, so that if I notice any changes in their behavior, I can kind of go back and say, well, you know, maybe they look a little different, or maybe they're sleeping more, maybe they're not eating as much, maybe they're eating too much. So all of these things are really, really critical. So again, spend more time with the cat in the bed. Go back to the one cleaning up the litter box a day. Make sure you use a stain and odor remover made specifically for pets. Anything like Mr. Clean or any of those stuff under the cupboard, they all contain ammonia, and you might as well pee on the bed yourself because you're putting down the same odor. Now, also make sure that you haven't changed the detergent that you're using when you wash your bedding. If the detergent has changed, it's very possible the cat is being territorial and just marking those areas and feeling insecure when you're not home. Hopefully that'll resolve your problem. If you not, get back to me. The number 877-725-8255. Quick break, then right back to all your questions and comments. I'm Warren Eckstein, and this is The Pet Show. We are back on The Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Let me give you that info again. If you would like to send me an email and want me to answer your question on the air, it's easy enough, 24/7. Just go to the website, thepetshow.com, all one word, thepetshow.com. You'll see a link right on the front page. Ask Warren. Click on it. A form will come up. Fill it out, and I will answer your question either the following week on the show if I have time, or if not, I'll try to answer some personally as well. So the phone number, if you want to leave a message, is 877-725-8255 or thepetshow.com. So someone said to me this week, and I decided I wanted to talk about it on the air because I hear it all the time. I go, where I live, there's a dog park not too far away from me. I don't go to the dog park, but I go there and hang out just to watch the dogs and see the errors, the errors some people are making. Sometimes I just want to go there and say, no, don't do that. And I notice a lot of people yell at their dogs. So let's talk about that for a second. I know it's frustrating when your dog does something wrong. They chewed your shoe. They peed on your carpet. They don't come back when you call them. They dug up your favorite. I get it. You get frustrated. But stop. Take a break and listen to me. Yelling at a dog may appear like a rather innocent behavior. Well, not so fast. Yelling doesn't teach a dog to respect you. Rather, it teaches the dog to fear you with all the negative repercussions. Research has absolutely proven that yelling can negatively impact dogs as well as children. That was my problem. Yelling make dogs respect you. No, it's more reliably produces fear, confusion, or conflict in the dog. Confusion, conflict, and fear. Why does my dog stop when I yell? Doesn't that mean it works? It indicates interruption, not learning. Do you hear me that? Interruption, not learning. This is where my behavior, you really delve into it. Is yelling worse than physical punishment? It's a tough one. They both suck. They operate through similar stress pathways, stressing the dog out. Yelling, first of all, there should never be physical punishment. And yelling should be stopped as well. Do some dogs tolerate yelling better than others? Yeah, they do. The temperament, genetics, and early experience influence whether the dog reacts or not. Now, the big question comes up. Hey, Warren, can yelling create aggressive behavior? The answer is yes. It can contribute to it over time. Dogs may come to choose fight or flight. Animals have what's called flight or fight. So if the dog is constantly being berated and constantly being yelled at and is feeling timid and backed into a corner, it's very possible that aggressive behavior could start. Also, when you yell at your dog, generally they're already aroused. By yelling, you're actually increasing that arousal. And even when couples or human beings argue, the more you yell, the worse it gets. So please, yelling at your dog serves really no purpose. It might help you, and if it helps you, fine. Go in the garage, go for a walk, yell at your car, yell at the next door. But don't yell at your dogs. It's not going to make any difference because yelling, it may stop momentarily. But it's not a learning experience. The dog is not being taught anything at that point. So, to yell or not to yell, that is the question. I choose not to yell. And I'm a New Yorker, so I know what yelling is all about. But yelling never resolved an issue. I remember when I was a kid growing up. Think about it from your dog's point of view. My parents yelled at me. I got angrier. Never resolved anything. Just interrupted maybe temporarily. All right, so I got so many great topics. We're going to take a look at the most common misconception about cat behavior. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's scratching furniture, not using a litter box, peeing on the bed. But we're going to take a deep dive into your cat's or what people's biggest misconception about cats is. And behavior, we're going to take a look. 99% of dogs have behavior issues. I could not believe that when I first saw it. It's just unbelievable. Also, coming up, we want to talk about this. You know, I get a lot of people that call me up and they want to know, well, how can I tell if my dog is feeling well? I do with my own dogs what I call a daily health check routine. They can't tell us when something feels wrong, which is why daily health checks are so important. A few minutes of careful observation daily can make a big difference. You can notice any subtle changes. And this is so important. A lot of people negate this. You know, unless the dog is limping, they're not going to worry about it. Observe behavior and observe your dog's energy levels. Start your daily health check by observing your pet's behavior. A healthy pet is usually active and alert and responsive. If you notice your dog becoming more lazy, restless, or hiding, or your cat hiding, those sudden changes in behavior could be indicative that something's going on health-wise. Eating, drinking, and digestion. I had someone contact me last week, and they had a dog that was loved to eat. He just adored his food, but all of a sudden, he wasn't eating so well. And the only reason they noticed it because they followed my advice and they watched how much food the dog eats every day. And it turns out that the dog had an abscess in his mouth and it was painful for the dog to eat. They went to the vet, had it taken care of, and therefore it was done. Take a look at the eyes, take a look at the ears, take a look at the nose, inspect the skin, the body condition. You know, a daily checkup on your dog or your cat is a simple yet powerful way to absolutely ensure your dog or your cat's health. And so I think it's important. I do that with my dogs every day. I'll give you an example. I posted on my Facebook page and my website pictures of Molly and Willie. I rescued them. It was their gotcha day. I call it a gotcha day, the day I got them. Gotcha day. Anyone who rescued a dog knows what gotcha day is. And it was 7 years this week that Denise and I rescued them from a very, very, very high kill shelter in California. And it's taken 7 years to really undo the abuse that these poor dogs went through. Now, Willie, one of them, went through a lot of physical abuse. Molly, on the other hand, is an emotional dog and went through a lot of emotional abuse. And it actually took me this long to resolve those issues. So patience is a virtue when it comes to behavior. Anytime you watch a TV show or say to somebody, listen, watch how fast I can train this dog. I don't want to brag, but I can make your dog look like Rin Tin Tin in 5 minutes. But when I leave, he's going to go back to being Cujo. It's consistency. It's the importance of being consistent that can make all the difference in the world. So please watch your pets, do those daily checkups. Early diagnosis can make all the difference in the world. We come back. We're going to talk about sudden behavior changes. Speaking of that, sudden behavior changes in your cat. And we're also going to take a look at whether or not you can train older dogs. It's a great topic I wanted to talk about. Well, I'm going to talk about this. You know that my background is doing a lot of work with your dog's nose, teaching them to smell out bombs and drugs and search and rescue, a lot of different things like that. I want to talk about it. We'll come back. Let me take a break. Again, if you want to leave me a message, 24/7, 877-725-8255. I love listening to those calls. Plus the fact by taking them on your recording, it gives me more opportunity to go deeper into the resolution for you as well. Or again, go to the website, thepetshow.com. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break. Then we're going to take a look at whether or not dogs can smell the personality of people. We'll take a look at that when we come back. But right now. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. You know, speaking of your dog's nose, the nose knows, believe me. Did you know? Were you aware? I always tell people, watch how your dog reacts around people. Dogs can actually smell fear. Their keen sense of smell allows them to detect subtle changes in human pheromones, which indicate fear or stress. This ability might explain why some dogs seem to sense when their owners are feeling anxious or upset. You know, I told you years ago when I was in Europe, I did a lot of advanced training, Schutzen training, Polizeihund training, and other. In fact, I just got a T-shirt from the German Police Department. Lots of training that was done that way. And one of the things that's really, really critical is understanding the dog's nose. And when teaching a dog to be protective, you need what's called an agitator. This is the guy who plays the bad guy. And we really get them psyched up before they do that. So their adrenaline is flowing. So the dog picks up on the change of their body chemistry and reacts more assertively towards them. So if my dog smells someone and I look at them in a different way, it could be that maybe I don't trust the person, or maybe that the person is just afraid of my dog. The nose knows. Okay, so here we go. Let me share some emails with you. I got this email this week. And it was from James in Delaware. And he says, "Hey, Warren, I have several cats. And it appears that one of the cats seems more apt to hide than the others. So my question is, why do cats hide? What does it mean?" Long time listener, and thank you. You know, in my cat book, How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want, next one's How to Get Your Owner to Do What You Want, cats hide for a lot of reasons. Cats hide because of one of their core survival strategies. It can mean anything from I want quiet time to I don't feel safe to I'm sick. So here's why cats hide. They feel safer in enclosed spaces. It's instinctual. Cats naturally rest in secluded areas, especially during the day. They want quiet time. Cats have extremely sensitive senses. Hiding helps them escape overstimulation. Not easy living with people. Temperature regulation. They'll hide if the temperature in the house isn't to their comfort zone. Surveillance. Often, when a hide means they're stressed or feel out. If there's new visitors or changes in the home, loud or unfamiliar sounds, inter-cat tension, you said you had multiple cats, and general anxiety can push a cat to retreat. Also, when your cat is hiding, it can be indicative that they're not feeling well. So here's where you have to be a really good detective. And again, it goes back to knowing what your cats are like when they're behaving normally. Photos. And when you notice changes like this, James, it's important to take those steps. So watch your cat carefully. Trip to the vet would not be a bad idea, but try to find out when he's hiding and how long he's hiding for, and follow my advice in terms of understanding that it might be a stressful situation. Again, the number here, 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. Great question, by the way. I probably get more questions like this, James, about cats hiding, and it could be several reasons. Some people just think, that's cats, that's what cats do, but that's not true. If you have a cat that's hiding, it might be for a positive reason, but could also be for a negative reason. It's up to you as a good pet guardian to take the time to figure it out. We come back, we're going to take a look at whether or not you understand, and in terms of understanding, the most misunderstood feeling that cat guardians have about their cats. All that, plenty of time for your calls and questions. Quick break, then right back at you. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show.
And a hug and kiss you every day. Oh, yeah.
Oh boy, I will hug and kiss you every day. We are back on The Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. So, what's the single biggest misconception about cat behavior among both cat owners as well as veterinary professionals? The biggest misconception is not litter box issues, not hiding issues. The biggest misconception by cat owners, including veterinarians out there, is that cats are spiteful. I can understand why people might think that, but listen to me. Cats have incredibly long memories, and their behavior can look very deliberate at times, but cats aren't acting out of jealousy or rage. What's actually happening is that we've missed a long chain of communicative clues. And by the time we're seeing the dramatic behavior, the cat has been trying to tell us something for a while. Kind of the theme of the show today is watch your cat's behavior, your dog's behavior, and if you notice changes, they're trying to tell us. Cats will let us know. About 68% of people who surrender cats cite inappropriate urination, destructive behavior, scratching, or aggression, and believe it's coming from spite. And honestly, I've heard the same from veterinary professionals. The evil cat. And something about your previous experience has taught them that the environment is threatening. That's not spite. That's communication. We just haven't learned how to read it. Spite is more of a human thing. You know what? He did this to me, so I'm going to do that to him. Cats are not spiteful. Neither are dogs. I hope you get the point here. The
2
point
minutes.
of what I'm trying to suggest to you is the concept that cats are so misunderstood by so many people. They have long memories. It's not spite, it's long memories. And their behavior can, as I said, look deliberate, but cats aren't acting out in jealousy or jealousy. So I guess that leads me to the next question. Can cats and dogs be jealous? Every behaviorist I know, all the veterinarians I've worked with over the years would say, nah, animals aren't jealous. Come to my house. Try petting one of my dogs or brushing Molly without brushing Willie. Try brushing Willie without brushing Molly. I don't know if I can describe the term as jealousy, but let me tell you, one wants what the other one has. Isn't that the definition of being jealous? I guess it is. And our dogs and our cats have been living with us for so many years that they've taken on a lot of our good traits, but they've also taken on a lot of our bad traits. So I believe, if you're asking me personally, as a professional, I might be the only one that's going to tell you this, but I honestly believe that animals can be jealous and even envious sometimes. They can be.
30.
Phone number 877-725-8255. Leave a message 24/7. I'll answer your question on air, or check out the website thepetshow.com. Ask me a question there, and we'll get to it as well. I'm Warren Eckstein, and you're listening to The Pet Show.
So dog don't chase no cat. The so dog been there, done that. So dog don't bare his teeth, soaking up the razor lying on the beach. So dog, she worked too hard for me.
And if you love your dogs and adore your cats, you have come to the right place. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. America and Canada's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, pet lifestyle show, everything pets we do here. If you have questions or comments, we'll answer those as well. Coming up in this hour, we're going to take a look at a lot of interesting things. We're going to take a look at 99% of you have dogs with behavior issues. Is it the dog or is it you? We'll take a look at that. We'll answer a bunch of questions as well. Got a lot of emails this week from listeners all over the place. So I figured I'd start this hour with an email I got because it's kind of interesting. It's from Sue, and she says, always starts the same way. Oh, no, this one's different. This one says, hi, Warren, not hey, Warren. I have a mini wire hair dachshund. A lot of people don't realize that dachshunds come smooth coat, wire hair, long hair. They're incredible. By the way, they're tough little dogs. They were used to hunt badgers, so don't just because they're cute. They can be tough little guys. I love them. I have a mini wire-haired dachshund that growls at me when I put her down after I've held her for a bit. She will growl when I touch her while eating, but I can reach in her food dish and she does nothing. She doesn't make any other noises other than bark when knock at the door. My other dachshund whines for food. They play ball, very vocal, but not my wired. What do you think this means? Growls. Thank you very much. Well, Sue, let me respond to you. A dog growling just when you put her down, the growl is communication, not defiance. It's her way of saying, I don't like this part. In some cases, it could be physical discomfort or pain. You know, being lifted or set down can momentarily compress joints, stretch muscles. This is especially likely if the dachshund's older. You didn't tell me how old she was in the email. Now, also, if she only growls during the movement, not while being held, it's probably the movement that's causing it. Could be feeling insecure. She could be feeling overwhelmed, Sue. And transitions like being picked up and put down can trigger that reaction. It could also be fear or anxiety about the situation. Growling is a normal warning sign when a dog feels unsure or they feel threatened, or even she trusts you, the sensation of being lowered can trigger fear. She simply doesn't like to be put down. Bottom line. So, what do you do? Well, number one is I would just make sure that there's nothing physical that's hurting the dog. That's number one. And number two, what I would do is practice on ground level, putting your hand underneath her, just lifting her an inch or so off the ground, putting it down, playing with her an inch or so, then 2 inches and 3 inches, so she starts realizing being put down doesn't mean the end. There's a lot of different reasons. It could be physical discomfort, as I said, but from what you're telling me, she only growls at the movement. Now, growling is kind of interesting, because I get these calls, my dog growled at me. Does that mean he's a bad dog? Is he vicious? No, it doesn't. Generally speaking, vicious dogs don't growl. Growl is their way of saying, I've had enough. Leave me alone. Don't bother me. It's kind of a warning sign from a dog that something's not right. And it's time you should take a look at that. So again, I really appreciate that call, because it's indicative of a lot of people. Now, in terms of the food, it seems to me, and again, I don't know where you got the dog, how many were in the litter, but it seems to me like she's not territorial over the food itself. She's territorial. I'm assuming, I don't know this, but I'm assuming she comes from a bigger litter where when she was trying to feed on the mom's teats, that she was pushed away or moved away by other dogs. So it's not the food that the problem is, it's the touch or the feeling that the problem is. Great call, by the way, Sue, and I really, really, really do appreciate it. By the way, if you have a question you'd like me to answer on the Pet Show, you can send me an email 24/7. Just go to the website, thepetshow.com. That's thepetshow.com. Ask Warren, and I'm there. I will be there. And you can send me an email, and I'll try to answer it like I did with Sue on the show, although I do try to answer some right directly when I get them, depending on a time commitment. I'm so looking forward to this phone call. If you were listening to the first hour, there was a phone call from a gentleman who wanted me to speak to someone who's in the beginning signs of dementia, but she's been rescuing animals and helping animals for years and years and years. And he felt that it would be comforting to her if I were to give her a call. And so June, I didn't get your last name, but June, I will be calling you when I get off the air today, and hopefully it can make you feel a little bit better. All right, so we've got another call coming up. This was an interesting phone call, but I'll take that in a second. And then I got an interesting also one. I got one from someone who said, well, let me go over the emails that I'm going to share with you. This was an email that I got from Stephanie. Has cats. One died with microphthalmia. I can never pronounce that. Looking to adopt another cat with physical challenges. I'm going to love to answer that one. We also got Cliff. How can we save money when flying with our poodle? That was an interesting call. A lot of people want to know how to save money. And I also got this email that this is interesting. I have a male 6-year-old cat has been neutered. The question does not involve his health. He's very friendly and happy. My main concern is that recently I've been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and I'm handicapped. Is it right to move my cat, who likes to go outside my house, to an apartment where his outdoor ventures would no longer happen? I've been married and I want to disturb my cat's life. So I guess she recently got married. What advice can you give me? I live in Dearborn, Michigan, and she gives me her address, or his address, and it's interesting. So this cat was an outdoor cat, an indoor-outdoor cat, and now she's moving to a situation where it has to be an indoor cat. First of all, I'm not a fan of indoor-outdoor cats anymore. Years ago I was, but nowadays it's too dangerous. Coyotes, hawks, other animals out there, predators, disease. What I've always stressed in my cat book, and every time I did a cat seminar years ago in New York City, which was just for hours and interesting, thousands of cat guardians showed up, is the concept that if you make the indoors of your home outdoor interesting, you'll note that the cat will not be as apt to want to get out. There are a lot of things you can do. For example, changing the environment every day. You know, if you put down the same scratching posts, you hear me talk about cardboard boxes. You hear me talk about paper bags. You hear me talk about organic plants. They like high places, vertical high places that they can go to. Pheromones, you can use some pheromones in the house. You can spend a lot of time more socializing, rotating the toys around. A lot of things you can do to make it more interesting in the house. And I know it's kind of like, he wants to go outside. Well, you know, when I was younger, I wanted to go outside and ride my bike in the middle of the street, but my mom knew it was dangerous for him. Maybe she wanted me to, but she knew it was dangerous, so therefore I was not allowed to ride my bike in the middle of the street. The average lifespan of an outdoor cat or a cat that goes outdoors is pretty short, maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5 years if they're lucky. Maybe if they're lucky, they can live 10 years. The average lifespan of an indoor cat is generally 15, 14 years. So they live a lot longer if they're indoors. So the right thing to do is it's going to take a little conversion on your time. I recommend picking up a copy of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. It's available at Amazon. And following the concept of training your dog, or your cat rather, from an outdoor cat to now an indoor cat. Change the environment, make it indoor interesting. All kinds of things change. Boxes change every day. They're free. Bags change every day. Plants change every day. More activity. There's a lot of great toys, interactive toys on the market. If you make life more interesting inside, you can reverse the need. Although you can also put an outdoor cat area, like they have these cat windows now, where it's enclosure, where the cat can look outside or go walk outside of a window but not get away. It's enclosed. A lot of things you can do. Give it a shot. Good luck with your new relationship, and good luck with getting your cat to enjoy the great indoors. I know I get flack. Cats love the outdoors, and it's better for, if you want to get your cat, do what I did on the Letterman show years ago. I took my cat on. Dave said to me, you can't teach a cat to walk on a leash and harness. I walked my dog across the stage 10 times. I walked my cat down Fifth Avenue, and he had to say, you know, Warren, you were right. If you want to take the time to teach the cat to walk on a leash and harness, that can be done as well. The phone number, 24/7, you can leave me a message just like she did, and I'll get to it, 877-725-8255. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Let me thank you ahead of time. I hope you guys took heed when I was talking about my Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund. I'm not the type of person that begs, but let me tell you, so many tears this week. They want to do so much more than they're doing, but they need our help. So check out hugsandkissesanimalfund.org. All right, so I had a question this week, and it was on another radio show that I was being interviewed on. And the interviewer said, Warren, I know you love animals, and I know you have a whole hugs and kisses approach, but I was told by a TV personality as well as my veterinarian that you should never play tug of war with your dog. It makes them aggressive. Well, let me tell you why I believe they're wrong. No one wants to play a game they never win. And most people, when they play tug of war with their dog, don't let the dog win. They always take it away and they go back at it, and they take it away and they go back at it. Take it from me. Let your dog win once in a while. Let go of the toy after a particularly good tug. Number one, it helps prevent frustration for your dog, and it's a great way to build your relationship. It's also a great way to gauge whether they're having fun or not. Do they come back towards you with the toy and want to play some more? It's a great sign that they love to play with you. Now, when I play tug of war with my dogs, I do it a little different than most people. I go up and down, and a lot of people go back and forth. Some people say you should never go back and forth. It creates aggression. Let me tell you. If the dog was aggressive before you play tug of war, he's going to be aggressive after you play tug of war. But the tug of war is not going to create an aggressive dog if you let them win once in a while. Who wants to play a game? I mean, literally, who wants to play a game where they never win? Makes me tired to see that people playing tug of war and they always win, and the dog looks up and says, hey, how about me? Can I win once in a while? So the other question that came up in that same interview, it's an interesting interview, was, do all cats react to catnip? Do all cats react to catnip? Listen to me carefully. Nearly 2/3 of cats have a hereditary trait that attracts them to catnip. So 2/3 of all cats are attracted to catnip. Why isn't catnip your fur for all cats? Some cats just don't have the genes for it. It's estimated that about 30 to 35% of cats, 30 to 35% of cats will not react to catnip. Kind of interesting. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Answering some questions, sharing some topics. It's what I like to do, kind of mix topics and things that I think is important for pet guardians to understand, as well as taking phone calls from people that have questions. So this is a question from a listener. It's been coming up a lot. It has nothing to do with behavior. It's about a product they heard me talk about on the Pet Show. So let's go to Peter calling in. Hey, Peter.
Hello, Warren. My question is, I've been on Lucy products for, probably at least 2 years for my 2 Great Pyrenees. I buy chicken, salmon, and duck. I've even tried the loaf, but have they changed? Have they been bought out, or have they merged with anybody? I don't know. I've been having a little trouble getting the duck and the chicken, so I called the company directly because I buy it off of Chewy, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the duck and chicken last time. I could only get salmon. So I was just curious if Lucy was having a issue or if everything's fine.
What a great question. What a great question. I got a lot of people saying for years they heard me talk about Lucy pet food. You're never going to hear me say anything bad about Lucy Pet Food, okay? They're no longer with me. We no longer have any relationship in terms of Lucy Pet Food. Their CEO is a good friend. I used to talk to their CEO every couple of weeks. He'd call me. I'd call him. We'd go back and forth. So I'm not going to say anything bad. The product's fine. But let me tell you why they're no longer on the show. Kind of a mutual thing. It's a great product if you want to continue using Lucy. I think it's fine. However, hear me out on this. The last conversation I had, I've always had a conversation with the CEO. Yeah, let's do this, Warren. Yeah, Warren, I made my decision, Warren. Let's do that. The last couple of calls I had is, well, I have a board of directors. I have marketing people. I have these people I got to talk to, those people I got to talk to. I got to talk to this one. I got to talk to that one. End of conversation for me. I've worked with many different pet food companies over the years. Some good, not some good. Lucy Pet Food was fine. You heard me broadcast from their location. But once I start hearing, well, it's got to be approved by this committee, it's got to be approved by that committee, we got to do this, that was the end. So mutually, we decided that we went our separate ways. I've never said anything bad about Lucy or the people that work there. They're great people. I've known them for years. However, there's no longer a relationship between Lucy and myself. So that's the story with Lucy Pet Food. And it's difficult to get a lot of their food. And that's part of the reason I think they're having some challenges over there. Interesting enough, people say, well, what do you recommend now? It's not a specific food I'm recommending yet. However, I've been approached the last month or so by 2 major companies if I would consult with them so they can understand exactly what the consumers want and the consumers need. No one has a closer relationship with consumers than I do. I've been talking to you guys for what? Almost 50 years on TV and radio. So I don't know. I haven't made any decisions yet. You will be the first one to know. However, in terms of Lucy Pet, I wouldn't say anything bad about them. The changes didn't work for me. And actually, the first place they talked about, the first place that Lucy, when they first started Lucy Pet Food, the first place they came to was me. And so the relationship is no more. However, I would never say anything bad. You continue using Lucy Pet. It's a fine food. The CEO is the type of guy that's really concerned about nutrition. I'm just not thrilled about committees and marketing people and executives and other people making decisions when it comes to dogs. I hope that answers your question. Again, just a reminder, you can email me 24/7, the phone number here at The Pet Show. If you want to email me, it's just go to thepetshow.com and click on Ask Warren. If you want to call me and leave me a message, 877, like the last call, 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. So I got a conversation this week, and again, it was on an interview I was doing. You know, is it possible to train an older dog? I love my listeners. There's no one who has more respect for my audience than I do. You guys are absolutely amazing. Every time we've tried to help animals, you've been there to help right alongside me. And many of my listeners have adopted older dogs from shelters, rescues, or off the street. Many people think older dogs can't learn new tricks. This is absolutely incorrect. It's false. I've worked with plenty of senior dogs that pick up new skills. All it takes is maybe a little more patience and a little bit more consistency, and keeping this session short, 10 to 15 minutes. This helps prevent the dog from getting tired or frustrated. Only positive reinforcement. Forget the other stuff. You know, I was walking the other day. I could not believe I saw a miniature schnauzer with a prong collar on his neck. If you can't work with a miniature schnauzer without a prong collar, you need some help for yourselves. Now, in terms of the training, you can use treats if you want. I use a combination. You can use praise, petting for good behavior. Start with your basic sit, stay, and calm. But the bottom line is if you make the training fun for a younger puppy or an older dog, it makes all the difference in the world. But the bottom line is, yeah, older dogs can be trained without a doubt. Let me see if I can get this call in here before we break. Let's actually, it was an email from Cliff. Cliff sent me this email about him traveling. Oh, my papers. And he was this was the email. How can we save money when flying our standard poodle? The airlines now charge $200 plus $170 health certificate, and now costs more for our pet than it does for people. Lest we earn mileage. So I kind of did some research on this, and number one, compare the airline pet fees before booking. Airlines vary widely what they charge for in-cabin or cargo pets. Researching fees ahead of time prevents surprise costs and lets you choose the cheapest carrier. Fly in cabin if your pet qualifies. If it's a service dog, if it's a small enough dog and you can book a seat in cabin, my ideas. Book direct flights. More dogs are lost, more dogs are injured when they have to change planes. Book direct flights when you can, and try to travel during off-peak hours. So the best way to save money is research. And try going online. There's a lot of pet-friendly travel hacks online as well. So you can save money. It doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg or a paw to fly with your pet. Good luck with that, poodle, and let me know if you saved any money by following my advice. The phone number, 877-725-8255. You know we're recording. You can leave a message. You have to call me now. You can leave a message there 24/7, and just like I did there, I'll respond to it on the air. Let me do this. I think it's time for a break, and I will take one right now. And I want to tell you once again, you know, you hear me talk about Delta Rescue. It's one of those groups. It's different. Delta Rescue is how can I describe it? It's a sanctuary. In other words, what they do is they take dogs, cats, horses, other animals that were abandoned all over the streets across the country. They were thrown out of cars, kicked out by people. I don't get it, but that's the way it is. When you donate to Delta Rescue, that legacy of donating will really help keep these animals alive. What a legacy for you. For 50 years, Delta Rescue would not be able to do the work they do every day without you and your support. From saving lives to, as I say every week, providing lifetime medical care for over 1,500 animals. You know what that cost? Here's the deal. Go to deltarescue.org. That's deltarescue.org. Donate what you can. $1, $5, $100, whatever you can. deltarescue.org takes care of over 1,500 cats, horses. It keeps them happy. It keeps them healthy. They even have their own vet on staff and keeps them loved. Again, I urge you to go to their website, donate what you can, deltarescue.org. Write it down, deltarescue.org, or if you prefer, you can text them directly, dogs to 801-801. That's dogs to 801-801. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. We are back on The Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. All right, so lots of phone calls that come in during the week. I get up 3:30 every morning. Why? I don't know. I just do. Always been like that. I've been known to take a nap at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So anyway, lots of phone calls. And write this number down because you can call 24/7, leave a message, and I'll get to it on the show, 877-725-8255. So let's hear a phone call that came in this week from Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie.
Yes, hi, Warren. My name is Stephanie, and I live in Prescott, Arizona. I used to live in California, and I have 3 rescue cats right now, and one of my kitties just passed away, Ozzy. He had microphthalmia with his eyes that are small, and he could see, but he was just the love of my life, and I'm wondering if you know anybody or rescues that can get me a cat with the microphthalmia. They're special need cats, and I live in Prescott, and my phone number is 818-687-4663, and he was diabetic.
Okay, so here's the bottom line. Stephanie called up. She has cats. One of the cats recently died. I think it was Izzy. With I can never pronounce this, microphthalmia. Basically, let me tell you what it is. It refers to excuse me. That's what I get for trying to pronounce a big word. It refers to a developmental condition where a cat's eyes fail to reach normal size. The affected eye is noticeably smaller than it should be, and this can happen in one eye or both eyes. The condition develops before or shortly after birth, making it a congenital issue for most cats. Excuse me for a sec. Sip of tea here. Frog in my throat. Anyway, here's the bottom line, Stephanie. Great call. I love this woman. This woman should have a halo over her head. She wants to adopt another cat that's challenged. There are some amazing groups out there, Stephanie, that do a lot of work with cats or dogs that have challenges. Now, I know you're looking for one with a specific thing. So I came across a couple of different ones. And there's a lot out there. And I'm just hoping a lot of people listening to the show that know of cat or dog rescues that have specific cats with special needs will email me at thepetshow.com so I can share this with Stephanie. It's not going to be an easy task. There's an organization in Texas called Cats Meow Rescue. I don't know them that well, but my understanding is that it's all working with cats that are challenged, whatever the challenge may be, blind, deaf, whatever. I also came across one right in Phoenix, which is not too far away from you in Prescott. It's called Sun Catcher Sanctuary. Sun Catcher Sanctuary. It's in Phoenix, Stephanie. And they might be able to help you out as well. Over the years, I've lived with so many dogs and cats that had different challenges, whether it be blind, deaf, 3 legs. Just imagine any type of challenge you can imagine, and I've adopted or rescued these dogs. People like Stephanie are amazing. They're willing to take on the responsibility. And with the challenges, when you take on a pet that needs challenges or has challenges, I can't think of anything that can be more rewarding than seeing a dog or a cat that had no shot in life, but all of a sudden has that shot because of people like Stephanie. So again, Stephanie, I don't know specifically, microphthalmia. I think not too bad, Warren. Microphthalmia. I don't know if you'll find a specific cat with that, but if you check those organizations out, and let me just put this out there. If you're involved with an organization that has cats with challenges, please, please, please contact me. Contact me here at the Pet Show. Just go to thepetshow.com, ask Warren, shoot me an email, whatever you got to do. Leave me a phone message. I don't care. Let's see if we can find that perfect home that will help Stephanie grieve and give the new cat with challenges a home that's going to be full of love and hugs and kisses. Great call, Stephanie. You're not too far away from me, so when you do wind up with the new cat, shoot me another call or email, and maybe we'll meet for coffee, and I'd love to meet your cats. I'm Warren Eckstein. Take a quick break here. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. To the end of the show. They're all cool cats. I just love that, Stephanie. What a great call that was. By the way, I want to talk about, we got a couple of minutes left, so I want to go over this. As a behaviorist, as a trainer, one of the things I always stress and one of the things I look for is any changes in behavior. So when I sit down with a family before working with their pet, I try to find out what changes they might have seen, because sudden changes in behavior really can mean different things. I'll give you an example. If your dog or your cat is suddenly starting to hide, normally it means they're experiencing some type of physical pain or severe illness or depression. So if you notice a change in that behavior, try to figure out what's causing that. Sudden aggression, primarily in cats. A cat that suddenly bites when touched in a specific spot is reacting to joint pain, dental disease, or internal discomfort. A lot of people always assume that when a dog or a cat shows any assertive or aggressive behavior, that they're bad. No, it could be pain. If your dog or cat becomes suddenly clingy. Conversely, some cats become overly needy and vocal when they feel unwell, seeking out their owner for comfort and protection. That goes for dogs as well. When they become clingy or they're on top of you 24/7, it's major. Now, this is the big one. A change in your dog or cat's energy levels. A dramatic drop in energy levels, refusing to play, sleeping more, are classic signs that your dog or cat is not feeling well psychologically or physiologically. These rapid shifts point to medical causes or behavioral changes, meaning a trip to the clinic essential before assuming your dog or cat is simply acting out. Sudden changes. Write them down. Speak to your vets about them. We have a couple of minutes left. Let me do this. You know, I've been on the air with you guys. I guess it's almost 50 years. I don't know the exact time. And over that time, people thank me for helping them. And I bet I don't spend enough time thanking you. You know, all the years I trained in Germany and Belgium and Holland and all over the world, Southeast Asia and all over the country. And all the courses I took in school. And all the training I've done, all the behaviors and trainers I worked with some of the top people in Europe. We didn't speak the same language, but we had some great conversations. Let me take the opportunity now to thank you. Yes, that's right. I'm thanking you, my listeners. I have learned more about behavior. I've learned more about relationships between people and their pets. Not from any book, not from any other instructor or trainer or behaviorist. I learned it from you. Because if it's one thing that my audience has, that no other audience has, is the ability to say, you know what, we may be people, but our hearts are big enough to not only love other people, but to love and care for pets at the same time. You don't have to make that choice. Love people or love pets. Our hearts are big enough. Your hearts are big enough to love them both. Till next week, give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you. One between the ears for me. I'm Warren Eckstein. And bless you and thank you once again for listening to The Pet Show.